Hello, welcome, welcome. It is Matthew David Hurtado, the Minister of Allowing, and we are here for our Sunday night regularly scheduled broadcast. See, my hat's a little dirty here. I get a little sweat when I go a couple workouts a day, start to sweat through it. Anyway, it's just a hat. So welcome, Muhammad. Good to see you here, buddy. While you guys are getting on board, I'm just surrounded by all of these crystals. Sabrina was just talking about crystals, and this is her desk. So I've been using her desk to broadcast because the ministry is actually not in this city anymore. We're 3 hours away where the ministry is, so I'm using her office while we're here. Anyway, crystals everywhere. Welcome, Dane. Good to see you. We've got all kinds of things going on tonight, but I want to talk about something that many people know about. You probably may have experienced it at one point in your life, at least at one point, but it's something that you really want to master, because here's the thing. The same energy that creates life itself, it's what you're created from. Why has it been so suppressed for so long? Why is it being, kept hidden away from you? Why is religion coming along to try to make you feel guilty about it and creating a perversion of it when it is the most powerful force that you have access to? Well, the question is the answer. So I just gave you the answer in the question. So welcome, Angel. Good to see you here. So I just did a video recently, and I put it on YouTube. Anyway, hold on. Sabrina, hold on. Sabrina's playing the audio. The audio is playing. I gotta put this on the loudspeaker. There we go. She caught onto it. We have this like Bose loudspeaker thing or whatever, and it's like somehow it's playing from her computer out there, and I was hearing myself. Back to the story. Okay, so the video's on YouTube. If you want to see my long, full-length discussion on this, I put it on YouTube. It's up there. If you want to watch it, it's a good idea, because there are some things. I'm just freewheeling it tonight. Like I did it in the car. I was freewheeling it, and I'm freewheeling it now. And you're going to catch things here that you didn't catch there if you want more of this. But the bottom line is it's real simple. When I want to create a new business, when I want to create something new, I'm going to be blunt. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I need to harness sexual energy. I need to take arousal and take it from the primitive carnal instinct nature. I need to steal arousal from the carnal mind, and I need to put it through into the spiritual realm and bring the kingdom down. And I learned how to do this at a young age. This was something that I just intuitively knew. This is something that was just natural to me. I would, be in my teens, and I would be like stimulated, and I would be like, oh, wow, look at all these, beautiful girls. And I'd be like, okay, now I'd imagine myself playing hockey, and I would take that desire, that sexual carnal desire, and I would put it into the training for my hockey. And that's what drove me in hockey. And then I got older, and I realized, what was happening in my life was I was working a dead-end job. Well, it was dead-end for me. Some people like doing it, but I was in an electrician apprenticeship program, and I hated it. I honestly hated the day-to-day work. I was outside in the wintertime on, oh boy. Anyway, apparently we had a poor connection here, so hopefully you guys are still with me. So anyway, I was on top of rooftops doing work that I did not love. And then an epiphany came, and I realized that this is no way to live. And this is how most people live. They live this way, and it's really a form of bondage. It's a form of fear. They're afraid that they can't make it on their own, or they just don't have a clue how to make it on their own. So they stick to what seems to be security. And it's like the passage says that in front of you there are two doorways. One doorway is freedom, and the other one is security. Well, most everybody's going to go through the security door in life. They want something secure. And that leads to a life of mediocrity. Okay. You find that you have neither when you go through the door of security. You will have neither freedom nor security. But if you go through the door of freedom, you will find true security and freedom is one and the same thing. And so you have to have this premise of, I need to express my individuality, my soul, my energy needs to be expressed in the world. I can't be contained into someone else's little box. And that's where true prosperity comes, is when you realize that you were never designed to be a cog in the matrix. You're not designed to be contained in someone else's paradigm that they created for you to fit in as an afterthought of their dream. You know, I'm not an afterthought for the owner of the electrical company to be his cog in his matrix. It's okay if I work to earn and to learn there. If I'm learning something, it's okay to serve, to learn. But I'm not created by a creator of the Most High, endowed with the Holy Ghost, with infinite intelligence at my disposal to sit at the feet of man. I am designed to sit at the foot of God, with God, and to make my enemies my footstool. So I am created in the image and likeness, which means I have infinite intelligence. I have all power to create in this world because I've been given dominion over this entire world. You've been told that in the scriptures. So what are you going to do about it? Well, what you're going to do about it is you're going to take the energy, the current, your life current, your life flow. And by the way, here's a little pro tip for life flow. This right here is aminos, because I'm going to go work out after this. And what I did is I put our minerals in there. We use our electrolyte pro and our magnesium. Minerals are the currency of life. Your body is bioelectric. It generates current flow. And that current flow is either flowing for you or it's not flowing. And here's the problem. If you don't have the minerals, this is important. If you don't have minerals, this is the work of the late Dr. Fred Bell. Minerals are the highest food chain. And this has to do with sex energy. Trust me. Listen to me. If you don't have minerals stored up, then vitamins don't work. And if vitamins don't work, then hormones can't function properly. Hormones have consciousness. Hormones have consciousness. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about arousal, sex energy, desire, consciousness creating, all of that stuff, right? Well, a big thing is not to be deficient in something that is so critical for you to be able to use this energy. So the minerals have been depleted since the 80s, and I promise you I'm not going to go off into selling minerals here. I'm just giving you the quick Cliff Notes version because it's important. It's part of the process. You need it. Where do I get mine? I get mine through our company, Complete Essentials, monotomia.com, monatomia.com. Now, quick little 30-second recap. If you don't have minerals, you can't flow properly because your consciousness is a lot tied in with hormones. If you don't have drive, in other words, if I'm a healthy, strong, vigorous male, and I hate to use the word, but if I'm going to be a male, I'm either going to be a beta or an alpha. And if you know me, I'm alpha upgrade. I'm alpha. And the reason why I'm alpha is because I recognize who I am. I'm with Christ at the right hand of the Father. All the world has been given dominion for me to play with. Okay? Doesn't mean I go step on people. It means that I just have dominion to create. So I'm going to use my energy. I'm going to use my sex energy and use it in a way that fits the 10 commandments here. And we're talking about honor. We're talking about doing unto others as we want them to do unto us. Okay, we're not going to go sow our seed quite literally and make everybody mad across the planet because we're just, living riotously in the flesh. That's not what God wants. So there are certain guidelines that make life go much more smoothly for you. So if you can come into agreement that the carnal mind is enmity against God, and to be carnally minded is death. If you can come into that agreement, and you can recognize that that brings about the wages of sin and death, okay? But the impulse itself is coming from a good place. God created all things and called them good. So you have the impulse, the desire. The desire is not bad. And if you suppress the desire, then there goes your power to create. You don't have any more power anymore. You can't use it if it's being suppressed. Religion will destroy it. Religion will destroy this power, and that's why religion was created, to keep you away from your power. I don't preach religion. The gospel has nothing to do with religion. Religion means to bind, relegar, to control, to suppress. See, you're being suppressed with religion. Religion, you have a doctrine of religion if you feel shame and guilt around your sexuality. Now, you could be sinning and have shame and guilt, but that's one thing. But if you just have a generalized shame and guilt about it, well, then you have religion. And if you have both, well, then now you're double in trouble. So what we need to do is we need to get that all off the table. Let's just remove that right off the table. And you know why you can do that? I'm going to tell you why you can remove that all off the table right now. All you have to do is read Hebrews 10. Okay? Hebrews 10, and I'm going to show you exactly where it is. All right, so here it goes. It says, the Holy Spirit in 10 verse 15 also testifies to us about this. He says, this is the covenant I will make with them after that time, says the Lord. I will put my laws in their hearts, and I will write them on their minds. Then he adds, their sins and lawless acts I will remember no more. So God is telling you that if you are at one with Christ, in the mind of Christ, living in the Spirit, not carnally minded, your sins are remembered no more, okay? So you can take religion and you can pitch it in the dumpster because it means nothing. It's all man's creation to suppress and collect your energy and to make you a slave. So you can throw that in the garbage, and you can take everything that you've done in the past that you feel sinful about and know that once you are in Christ and you know that Christ took all of your sins to the cross, and you are willing to be healed, be set free, be free this moment, and sin no more, that it's all gone. So your slate is now clean. You don't have to live in condemnation ever again. So what are you going to do from this moment forward? Well, when you have arousal, I talk about being aroused is a good thing. Arousal is fantastic. If I see something that creates arousal in me, I've been the guy in the past that used to think about it and think it was in secret, but like the ancient secret or the ancient passage says, we think in secret, but it comes to pass. Environment is but our looking glass. You see, there are no secrets. Your thought life is your life. Your thought life is your life. So that's why Jesus said, if you commit adultery, if you look at someone lustful with your eyes, you've committed adultery in your heart. So in my old life, I used to think that you could get away with that. It's not really a sin because everybody does it. I mean, that's what the whole porn industry is. Everybody's doing it. Well, just because everybody's doing it doesn't mean it is right. It doesn't mean it works. In fact, you should know if everybody's doing it, that it's probably exactly what you should not do, because most people are completely failing in life. And I say that because 95% of people retire broke, dead, and disabled, and most of them are on 3 to 5 different drugs. And the word pharma has the word harm right in it. So I'm just saying, look, if you're looking to everybody else to see what they're doing, you might want to rethink your future, okay? So let's clear that off the table. No condemnation here. What we're talking about is I want to do what's right by my Creator, and I want to use all the power that the Holy Ghost has given me. The Holy Ghost has given me power. I want to use it. I will not be suppressed anymore. So I see arousal, okay? Now, what I do with that arousal, it's a real sleight of hand thing. This is what transmutation means. It means to change your state of being. So what I do, and you'll find this in Hebrews 10, your assignment is to read Hebrews 10 this week, and I'm going to talk about it in the next transmission after the workshop. So Hebrews 10 is all about putting off one. Jesus put off one so that the other could be established. So what Jesus did is he died, which means he put off the body. When Jesus died, he put off the body. It says it right in the Hebrews, so that spirit could be established. See, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take desire and I am going to put off the body. No, I'm not going to go off and imagine myself being carnally engaged with something that is unwholesome. Okay? That means no fap, no porn, none of that. If I stumble, then I'm quick to get back. Okay? You're all going to stumble. Everybody's going to stumble. No man is perfect. So you realize this. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for execution so that we can be effective. So what I'm going to do is keep my eyes on the prize. That spirit is where the action is. I'm going to take something carnal, some desire that I have, and I'm going to ask myself instantly in the moment where I'm feeling the most aroused, what's the fastest path to my joy? How can I serve? Here's the key. How can I serve? Puts you in the will of God. If you say, how can I serve? You are in the will of God. And I'm going to give you an example of how I did this today. In fact, right before this. So what I did today is I said, okay, let's put this to use. How can I do this? And I'll be a little candid with you. Last night, Sabrina was looking kind of good, and I had some images of Sabrina, and I feel like that's totally wholesome because obviously I got a family with her and marriage and all these other things, right? So that's wholesome. And I saw her today walking around with little short shorts on, and I got a little excited. Now, that's okay, but imagine if it weren't her. Imagine if someone else was on a beach, like if we're out in Sheboygan, someone's on a beach, and I see like something that's like, wow. Okay, I can take that desire and I can say, how can I serve? And I can instantly think about my company, my ministry, or something else. And it gives you that jolt. It gives you that jolt of energy flow. Now, I take that energy flow and I channel it instantly, okay, right into my creative passion, right into the book I'm writing, right into the business I'm building, right into whatever I'm doing to create something. And so I'm taking something, and here's what I'm not doing. I'm not mentally going off and rehearsing, committing adultery in my heart, like Jesus said. Now, this is the problem. See, this is what the porn industry does. The porn industry comes in to get you to mentally rehearse in your head, because guess what? You just lost your power. It got siphoned from your capacity to use it wholesomely, and now it just got siphoned right into feeding the dark side so that the beast got bigger and bigger and bigger. And what is that beast? It's suppression and control of humanity. So every time you engage in that, you have to remember that you are adding to the flame that is suppressing and controlling humanity. That's how big and important this is. You're feeding the literal beast, the 666, the beast itself. Now, what I'm talking about is the book Think and Grow Rich alludes to the fact that most men don't reach success until their 40s and 50s, like real lasting success. And the reason why is because they're out there sowing their wild oats, right? But when they get a little bit more mature and they get established, well, then the likelihood of them coming into agreement with what I just discussed is much more probable. But you don't have to be any age to just get this. You can be whatever age. You can be a woman. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is this energy is powerful, creative force that puts things into place and creates. And so what you can do is you harness it, and you do not step into losing it through the way the world wants you to lose it, which is, wow, I'm so excited. I should go watch porn right now and handle my desire. If you do that, unfortunately, you're just wasting energy. You're not going to be able to utilize, and you're also going to set up low self-esteem, because any action that we take that doesn't benefit, that's not in alignment with the will of God, actually brings about a lowering of your self-esteem. And what that does is it brings about guilt and shame through the back door. And like I talk about in my workshops, what's your level of guilt? 0 to 10. Most people are like, oh, I'm at a 7. And I'll be like, why? Why are you at a 7? I don't know. Well, it's because all of these little things that they keep doing keep adding up and building up guilt and guilt and guilt. So again, we use Safe Touch to clear all that guilt. We want to remove all guilt and condemnation. But we also want to stop the behavior that is robbing you of your ability to take your power back. So let's imagine, for example, that you would like to build a business because you have the idea that working for someone else is a complete pain in the butt, and you've done it long enough and you're tired of being limited to how much money you're making. Well, that's a good thing because you're designed to grow and expand. So what are you going to do about it? Well, the first thing I would do about it, and the first thing I always do about it, is I always start to build my currency, my sexual energy. I always start building sexual energy. Always. Now, how do you do that? Well, it's very simple. I start to become curious and aroused. Like I said, start to look for the arousal. Now, this is like I said, like I start to look at Sabrina in a different way. Like last night, I start to allow that to flow. I start to look for it. Okay. Now, there are certain practices you can do within that wholesome relationship to speed up the flow. And one of the keys I'll tell you right now, I learned in a book by Stuart Swerdlow about his book about sexuality, is there are certain practices you can do that can amplify the energy. And this is what a lot of the high-level alchemists on the planet use. They do rituals basically to control the entire planet because they know the secret. They know the secret that sex energy controls basically everything because it's creative energy. And if we can create life through sexual intercourse, we can use that to create businesses. They use it for spells and all these other things. They do rituals, but you can use it yourself and you can read books on how to do it. And I'm not going to be crude and I'm not going to tell you the certain techniques and practices I do use because it's crude. It's just not designed for this venue right here. But doing it in a wholesome way with a partner who is, your partner, that protected covenant, that can create tremendous power. You can create tremendous power into putting your ideas and visions into the world.
Hello, I'm Julie with Allow Ministries on behalf of Matthew David Hurtado. Are you ready to end self-sabotage, procrastination, and distraction? Clarity, certainty, and a proven plan of action is what it takes to get anything you want in life. Training is the answer. Matthew David Hurtado's Spiritual Millionaire Workshop is the one-step solution that finally puts you in control of your destiny. What Matthew discovered about building a 7-figure business and perfect well-being when he was bedridden and bankrupt with Lyme disease is that mentorship is success without the wait. It works. At allowuniversity.com, you'll discover how to walk in victory. Learn how to prosper in every area with unstoppable daily habits and a step-by-step training to build your dream business immediately following the event, a success training for a lifetime of achievement. Walk in financial increase, living a life you love. Go to allowuniversity.com and say yes to your destiny.
And that's why there's all these other industries designed to keep you from that power. They want you to take the instant fix and the adulterated fix so that you, A, are walking around with a ton of guilt and shame. Because if you're walking around with a ton of guilt and shame, well, you're going to cause yourself to suppress your own desire. You're going to feel unworthy. You're going to put yourself in your own prison by doing that. Okay? I shouldn't say prison. I should say prism. You put yourself in your own prism of your mind with guilt and shame. Because anytime you feel shame, the action will be repeated. Anytime you feel shame, you're going to repeat the action. So what I'm talking about is doing it in a way that I feel the arousal. I'm looking for the arousal. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to start working on myself feeling more attractive. I'm going to start to create and exude that, and I'm going to start looking for it. And when I see it, I'm going to instantly take it and I'm going to put it into something I'm creating. How can I serve? When I want to write a book, and in fact, you know, this is what I've always done is like, I want to write a book. I'm going to build arousal up and I'm going to reach it to a peak. And I'm going to start to just put it into that book and put it into that book and put it into that book. And that's how it's done. It's so simple. It's so simple. But what it is it's denying the carnal mind in exchange for getting in alignment with the will of God, and then letting that energy, that wind behind your sails, push you much faster and much further. You literally can become unstoppable by doing this. Nothing can stop a person who is fully charged up in this capacity, because you really are creating the world that you're involved with. And when this energy starts flowing, things start getting really intense. And it's like, if you fear something, you'll bring it upon yourself. Well, also, if you're very, very aroused and you start creating it, you'll bring it upon yourself. So one of the things you can do is, like Dr. Pillai always talks about, is using the Ah meditation, where you run it from the base, you know, chakra down by your, you know, base of your spine, up through the genital area, up through the power center here, up through the throat, and up and out the third eye, you know, using the sound Ah, and you're projecting out what you're creating, the image of what you're creating. And you can run it that way. Now, I suggest you step into the arousal first and then run it that way out, okay? And so some of the practices that I was alluding to is when the two partners come together, you know, the male can use the female's body as an amplifier, okay? That's one of the things that you can discover. There are every position has a meaning. So every position that you're involved in has a certain meaning. And so you can use those to your advantage. And this is something people really need to be more comfortable talking about in the right venues. Maybe more in a private venue, I would share these ideas specifically for a small group. But, you know, in a public venue where it's going to go on YouTube, I care not to share about any of this, because you can find it all out yourself and you can research it yourself. I just want to drop some idea seeds for you. So let's see who's here. So we got Randy here. We've got Sabrina, Angel, Brian, Craig, Beverly, Tricia, Patricia. Wow, you guys are great. Good to see you guys here. Bakari, Nessa, Patrick. Do you guys have any questions so far? Like, do you have any questions on this? Because this is so powerful. Like, I literally cannot build a business. I cannot build a business if I don't have this energy flowing. It just doesn't happen. Okay, I don't have enough momentum. And I've always told people I'm really good when I'm on. When I'm on, I'm unstoppable. But if I'm not on, it means that something is suppressed, and it's that. It means that that's being suppressed one way or the other. Either something dogmatic has gotten onto me, or, you know, some other venue is coming and trying to distract me. See, like Surprise Us, Satole says, in life, the greatest secret is you have to fight for your happiness. You're going to have to fight for your happiness, because the world does not want you to have it. The world does not want you to have your sexual energy at your disposal to create as you wish. It wants to give you the fake alternative. Here, just have some porn. Here, why don't you look at somebody else? Here, try this. Here, try this, try this, try that. It wants to give you all the fake alternatives so that you get nowhere and you end up nowhere, okay? What I'm saying to you is that the master alchemists on this planet, the people that really have it figured out, if you get in touch with this the right way, you can literally go from no business idea, no expertise, no knowledge, no nothing, and you could start putting out vibrations so strong, so much consciousness can be so powerful coming from you, like the frequency that you get into. See, if you match the frequency that you're into with the desire has to show up. That's the laws of the physics, the quantum physics of it. And that's where you ramp this energy into. But it has to come through a channel of, how can I serve? How can I be more effective? How can I solve problems? And let me get back to the story. This is what I did today. So back to the story. I saw some things and I used it. And I said, I'm going to solve a specific problem today. I made the intention. And then I ran the energy. I did the quick little meditation, you know, the ah. I don't do it for 15 minutes. I just do it like a few times, and I'm already there. I'm already syncing with it. And what I did then is I surrendered myself to the allowing of letting the desire come through me. And I just cranked out an hour and 20 minute, you know, it's one of these free flow talks that I did. And I completely addressed a specific problem. I threw a little title on it and I made a video for it, and I'll launch it, you know, soon, but I'm going to launch it to the people who have the problem. And I'm going to offer it to the world. So what I did is I first got amped up with energy. I need energy to create. I need to flow. I need that arousal. Otherwise, why? Why would I bother? I don't want to do anything. I'm bored. I'm lazy. I'm too tired. I want food, right? The reptilian brain wants to eat, mate, or kill. Well, I got to get it to desire to want to mate, and then I got to take that mate desire and I got to put it into the spiritual minded self, and then I got to put it into the how can I serve, and then put it into what's the fastest path to my joy, and then I've hit the trifecta. And once I've done that, it's the fastest path to my joy, it serves others, it solves a problem, and I totally got aroused with it, and I put it into it. Now I'm on point. So it says in the book, Think and Grow Rich, one of the most successful men in the world at that time claimed that all of his success came because he had this really beautiful secretary. Okay, this is the muse. You can use the muse. So he had a really beautiful secretary. Now, I don't know, he may or may not have been sleeping with the secretary, but the thing is that he was using her beauty that aroused him so much that kept him at the top of his game. And the story goes that when the secretary left, all of his creative capacity was gone. You see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what you have to understand. You need to find a muse and use it. Okay, now I strongly suggest that you're very, very careful and that you have boundaries, because if you do engage in the carnal, just remember it does say in the Bible, and I promise you it's true, been there, done that, the carnal mind is the law of sin and death, and its wages are sin and death. So if you go out and you make soul contracts with people because you want to, you know, just carnally engage that energy, it's going to lead you into some rough places, and it's going to create soul ties with certain personalities that you probably don't need in your life. But if you decide to take the high route, quite literally, and you say arousal's good, but carnal sex bad, arousal good, carnal sex bad, then I can take arousal and I can just pump it into my creative flow. And so that's really what this is all about. So let's see if there's any comments. Casey's here. Well, I don't see any questions, but I hope you guys see some value in this. Like I said, it really is everything. To make a long story short, you know, am I going to give credit to, okay, let me give credit where it's due. All of my prosperity in life has come from God, period. Because of my tithing, because of my faith seeds, that's it. God provides everything for me. I live in that trust. God does that. That's a fact. Now, everything that I put out into the world, well, where do I get the energy for it? Where do I get the motivation? From this process. So when I couple the two together, this is like the yin and the yang. This is the yin and the yang is divine masculine action and feminine allowing. So I have the two forces right there. So on the allowing side, you know, look at even the planting of the seed alludes to it. You know, I'm writing my faith check out. Boom, I plant it. Okay. Now, as I feel like taking inspired action, I want to put creative power into that action. I don't want to take an action that has no power. I want to put creative arousal, boom, put it right into there. And so that is really the mechanics of how I merge, you know, the feminine, masculine. And it's not just me. This is how really a lot of people have been doing it for a long time. And you may have done it yourself and not even realize that that's what you're doing. But that's really how you do it. And that's why some of the most highly sexed people in the world, they have huge sexual appetites, become very, very successful in the world. Because that energy creates, period. Let's just say it just creates, period. But, you know, like I mentioned in the video on YouTube, you know, you can become Tiger Woods, and you can have, you know, a season where you have to like rethink everything. You know, maybe that wasn't the best idea to have all those girlfriends. I could have probably just stayed with my wife. You could have, you know, you could go through that. Or you could, and you know what, he's back on top. See, that's redemption. That's the power of God's grace. Tiger Woods is back, right? Everybody loves a comeback story. That's why you don't judge anybody. You don't judge anybody because you become what you judge. So stay away from all that judgment. If somebody screwed up, so what? Leave them alone. Stop judging them. It's not your business. So what you focus on is, where can you do this? And see, Tiger Woods obviously is a very highly sexual person, or he wouldn't have gotten a little bit of trouble like that. But that's what keeps him so on his game. He's like, he is a master of doing this. I promise you.
Hello, it's Amanda with Alpha Upgrade. This is my favorite ritual. Milkane is a chocolate fat-burning energy boosting formula that allows you to crush it. Milkane is packed with adaptogens, minerals, and vitamins to help you combat stress, always on your A game. It has brain boosting power ingredients like bacopa, L-triosine, and more for the ultimate dopamine rush. Hence the name, Milkane.
And this is what people are doing behind the scenes, who are creating at a very, very high level. And this is how they're doing it. They're taking that and putting it into their craft, and they're letting it serve them. So, all right, Angel says, thanks. Randy says, Trump is proof. Well, absolutely. I mean, Trump, I mean, come on now. Have you ever seen Trump like with anything less than something arousing for his eyes? I mean, every one of his wives was a trophy wife. It's very, very smart. People think Trump's stupid. The people that think Trump is stupid need to rethink things. I saw a picture today where Trump is looking at a camera, and this is his body sideways, and he's leaned over like this. Like he's leaning like this to the camera, and they're like, look at the dummy, can't even stand straight. And I'm like, look, you don't even realize that when you stand like this, it makes your shoulders bigger and your waist look smaller in front of the camera. So what you think is dumb is actually genius. See, you're not seeing it. So people say, well, he's always got a young, beautiful woman. He's like, this is, you know, he's not a good person. I'm thinking, you know what? How do you know he doesn't take care of every other woman that he's been with? Like, how do you know they're not still great friends? How do you know that maybe he doesn't understand this secret, and he does it so that he stays unstoppable at every level of being? So you can call it what you want. That's why I said don't judge, because what one person considers stupid is really genius. And I know for a fact he's a genius, and I would never want to go up against Trump. You're not going to beat Trump. You're not going to beat him. That's just the point. All right. I don't care. You know, we're not going to talk about morality or this, that's off the table right now. You're nobody to judge that. Neither am I. You don't have enough authority to judge anybody's morality. So what I'm saying is, greatness is usually considered stupid or foolish by people who have no greatness. But people who have done great things, they usually pick up on something happening that's great because they've done it. So that's what you see this big division about everywhere, is that people who see greatness are like, yes, that's greatness. And people who've never done anything other than, you know, beg and complain and this and that, they're quick to say, well, look at that fool. You know, I know the guy's not a fool. All right. So that's what I want to tell you. Anyway, other than that, you know, this is really where the game is at. You have to do it. It's something you can't really teach it. I can't teach it to you like this. Like, I can tell you the mechanics of it. You just got to go do it. You just got to go do it. And here's one of the last things. I'll leave you with this. You know the ABC break process if you have my book. If you don't have my book, well, then get it for free on your smartphone. Just text the word allow, ALLOW, to 608-530-6658. I think that's the number. Or just go to MatthewDavidHurtado.com and get it on your computer. But the ABC break process is something that puts you in solution consciousness. Now, I teach you in the process to ramp up the energy with your favorite music. Okay, look at music has the word muse right in it. Okay, get this. Music has the word muse right in it. I'm always telling you to use the muse. The music, the muse, boom, you need it because you know why? You need to stimulate the emotional component of you, because I'll tell you what, if you don't have emotional energy stimulated coming through you as charisma, you have no effect in communicating with other people, because people are moved by emotion and then they back it up with logic.
Are you feeling embarrassed and stuck because you can't focus or concentrate? I have a confession to make. I spent years unable to think clearly, like I was in a fog. I was going through the motions, running my companies, and I hated feeling groggy and mentally sluggish. I couldn't get ahead like this. It's no secret the powers that be want us dumbed down. Chemicals, fluoride, our brains are under siege and we are experiencing lower IQs. But now there's a weapon to fight back and win. Introducing DNA Evolve, a revolutionary breakthrough in a category of cognitive enhancers called nootropics. I've been using DNA Evolve and couldn't feel better. For me, it works. It feels great to get things done again and get ahead. Try a free sample for yourself at DNAEvolveSample.com. That's DNAEvolveSample.com. Supplies are limited, so go to DNAEvolveSample.com right now.
So if you're not moving people emotionally, then you have not created that arousal. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So with the ABC break process, the music stimulates the picture of the end result, the consciousness. And what I'm saying is you're also at the same time running that arousal through, combined with the music, the muse and the music combined, you are a super conductor for that frequency that you are pumping out into the universe. And that is a seed. You are putting a seed into the universe, and it must return in like form. So what I mean by that is that frequency goes out and it comes right back in. And as it comes right back in, you project out something in alignment with what you just sowed. And then all of a sudden you start to see the corresponding match of, I desired this, I envisioned it, I ran the solution consciousness through my favorite music with the muse and the desire, and all of a sudden it's starting to show up in my world. That's because you're putting it there. It's because you've changed the world that you're in. You've actually, like the quantum jumped or whatever, you actually just stepped into an alternate reality of your own version of reality in a different frequency, and that frequency is totally different. And that's what you're trying to do, is you're trying to shift bit by bit by bit by bit by bit by bit by bit, where you're still sitting on the same chair where you started, but you've shifted so much so that everything is completely different. I've talked about that time and time again. So, this is nothing new. Yes, the other thing, Trump is winning oriented, his words confirm his heart, and he's always number one in his own words. He's always winning. You see what I'm saying? The reason why you're not going to beat him is because he knows he has this power, and you're not going to steer him off of his vibration or his words. Nobody can. Nobody's been able to do this. He'll steamroll you. And you see, if there's nothing else you can learn from him, even if you don't like him, you should still respect what he's doing, because he's steamrolling everybody that comes up against him. He's literally just rolling right over them like a tank. How is he doing that? Well, it's because no matter what they say, he still believes what he knows to be true about himself, and he speaks it. And he also has his beautiful, arousing, partner that he can constantly draw from, constantly create that power, that energy. See, clues right in plain sight for you to see. Clues right in plain sight. And you can do these things, because the same thing he's doing, you can do as well. All right? I mean, what else is there to know? You just got to do it now. You're not going to do anything for you to sit around and think about it. I tell you that. Thinking about it's going to get you absolutely nowhere. It's time to do it. It's time to get out and do it. That's why in our workshop, it's not a thinking workshop. I don't want to sit around and think. I hate thinking. Thinking is stupid. Thinking is saying, let's create resistance and more resistance so we can get nowhere. And then I look at the watch and say, well, are we done thinking yet? What I'm saying is, let's do something. Let's shift our vibration. Let's shift vibration. And then let's take action based on our new vibration, because that's the male and feminine, masculine, yin and yang. The forces have to come together. That's what I've been teaching the whole time through the workshops. And it takes some people many workshops to get it, because they don't see the reality of why it's so important to do it every day. So some people do it once in a while, some people do it every day, and some people don't do it at all. But that's just like anything in life. So the more you apply it, the more you start to get the benefits of it. And it's all based on, biblical principles, quantum physics, things that really are only visible to you after you do it. And that's the problem, is that I say do this, and everybody's like, yeah, but maybe I'll just go study some more esoteric stuff, and I'll just get all in my head and just run all this stuff through my head. And I'm like, fine. If that's what makes you excited, do it, because nothing wrong with it. I did that for over a decade. I could sit for you for a week and tell you all sorts of esoteric stuff. I could just spit it out left and right. We could be drawing shapes and patterns, and I could show you all the different bodies that you have and all of this and that. But at the end of the day, there's going to come a point when you're going to say, okay, that was cute, but I want more money. That's what you're going to say. You're going to be like, I want more sex. I want more money. I want more power, because that reptilian brain is going to kick in and say, enough of this. I'm tired of all these logical neocortex games. I want sex, money, and power now. Give it to me. And I'm going to say, okay, good. Well, guess what? Sex, easy. Become aroused and use it to create, and you'll have money. Okay? And then when you have money, guess what? Well, then you'll realize that you did that, so now you have power. Now you have sex, money, and power. Okay? Sex is a given, because we can become aroused. Everybody's got that option, but they siphon it off into the false alternatives. So they lose that, and they never get the money, because they don't know how to use the sex to get the money. And I'm not talking about using sex to get money, so don't put words in my mouth. What I'm saying is use the energy to put it into a venue where you're putting value into the world, because you can't, that's a law. What I put out comes back. If I put value into the world, I get back the value that I put into the world. Why do you think I do live streams? Why do you think I do all this stuff? I'm not charging you to come to my live stream, because I don't have to. I don't have to charge you anything. I don't have to play that game. I'm not selling you to be here. I'm just putting it out there, and those who are meant to see it and hear it show up. And by the law of reciprocity, the universe flips it back to me. And so that's what I did with my faith seeds too, is I began first with like $20, my tithes, and then it was like $200, and then $2,000. And you see, wherever you tap out is your level of faith. Wherever you tap out. But see, you're only going to receive according to your level of faith. Okay? And some people tap out at $3, like, whoa, I gave $3. That's huge, man. And I respect that, because that's what you're going to get, because it comes in equal proportion. Okay? If you give $3, then you get an equal proportion to that. It's always going to be increased, but your level of faith is where you tap out. And I know people that some of these ministers, like, they've been tested by God to give up $1 million like that, or a $20 million jet. God will say something to them like, give your jet to that person. And they'll say, whoa, that's my jet. See, but they do it. And their level of faith, it brings it back. Now they have 12 jets. See what I'm saying? And then the world people come in them and say, well, this guy is a criminal because he's supposed to be a minister, and he has 12 jets, and he's got 500, high-end watches, and he's worth over $1 billion. This guy's wrong. And I'm like, no, this guy, like, you need to start listening, because everything you say you want, he's already got. Like, duh. And I'm just saying, like, he ain't tapping out at $2 like the average person. So back to the sex energy part is, if your income level is at this level and you're saying, I can't get through this level, I'm saying, look, what are you sowing for? And I'm not talking about just your money. I'm saying, what are your vibrational offerings accumulating for you? How much faith do you have? Because if you're at a job, you're at a job to learn, okay? You're not supposed to stay there forever unless you love what you're doing. You're supposed to continue to follow your highest excitement in every moment, and usually that excitement doesn't park itself for 35 years at a factory. Okay, that's your mind choosing the door of security, which leads you to nowhere. Remember the beginning? We want to choose freedom. And then we want to realize where our power comes from. Okay, the Word of God, our currency, and our faith. We have to activate these principles. And it's so easy. Okay, it's so easy in theory, but it takes boldness to apply it. And in order to be bold, that's why I brought up the whole sacred sex thing, because you can't be bold. You cannot be bold without appreciating and being able to use your sexuality. And like the Trump thing was a perfect analogy. I mean, look at one beautiful wife to another, to another, to another. There's a reason why he's doing that. There's a reason. And it's probably not what everybody says. Probably not because, you know, like he has to have a trophy at all times. Like he probably doesn't care what you think. He probably could care less what you think. It's probably more in alignment with what it does to him inside that allows him to create and become unstoppable, because nothing is ever as it first appears. So, all right, I've gone on here almost an hour. So, hey, Abel, good to see you. Tom, good to see all you guys here. Well, anyway, the alternate version of this is on YouTube. You can watch the other side of this. The practices, okay? I'm going to give you some practices, okay? Where to get them. First thing is the meditation from Dr. Pillai. I like that one a lot. I really do. And I really appreciate Dr. Pillai. See, I'm one of these Christians that's not like, I'm not excluding the rest of the world, okay? Like, I just don't believe in excluding the rest of the world just because I may have a difference of opinion or belief, okay? Like, I like to include, and I like to say, you know, if something is working really good for you and it's really effective and amazing, well, let me look at it, you know, because I'm like, hey, if I can do this meditation and it works, well, let's do it, man. I don't see nothing wrong with it. It doesn't say anywhere here that I can't do it, okay? So let's try it. It's not hurting anybody, so it works. I like it. And the other thing is Stuart Swerdlow, his book, it's on sexuality. It's the only one he wrote on sexuality. That's a really, really, really powerful book. If you guys want to read a book, just go to Amazon. And this is a plug. I met, you know, Stuart. You know, he's a good guy. The book gives you like the positions and all of the rituals that are being done on the world scale, like for good and for not so good. Okay, it shows you the reality of a lot of this. And it's a good read if you want to really understand these things. And I will tell you, there are a few practices in there that I have found to be very, very, very effective. And let's just say this, every time I'm launching a new business, there's one practice that I always do, and I swear it makes my power tremendously multiplied. Okay? So I'm just going to leave you with that. And I think I've covered all bases here.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I attended Matthew's workshop because I wanted to use the law of attraction, and I wanted to learn how to increase my vibration and use the law of attraction to create an online business and bring more income into my life. And through the weekend, I learned how to let go of beliefs and karma. And then the self-entrainment technique allowed me to step into this world, to show up as the person that I want to be. And this has kicked off an amazing transformative process in my life. It has transformed every facet of my life. It has been a rapid, high-speed journey of personal development and growth that to me is worth more than any amount of cash whatsoever. However, having taken that journey, I have now come to the point where, as we speak, I am launching a new online business. In fact, I'm launching 2 brand new online businesses, and I feel absolutely positive that they're going to succeed and that life is going to move forward. And so this workshop has enabled me to come to the place personally where I can actually step out in power instead of being timid and present value to the world, and also to allow that value to flow back to me because I no longer have those blockages in my life. So, Matthew, thank you so much for the workshop.
So that's all for tonight, folks. I'm going to finish my aminos and minerals. And I'm going to go for workout number 2. Praise God. By the way, praise God, as you can see, see the face is healed up, all that stuff. Praise you, God. Praise you for the healing. Praise you for the prosperity. Praise you, Father God, for all of the richness of your kingdom that is available to everyone here. Anyone willing to just reach and to receive and to just demonstrate what your word said is already done. Praise you, God, because that is the reality. So, love you guys, and I'll see you not this week. The workshop is Thursday. Just an FYI, we are going to do the workshop Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And if you want to come last minute, you got to call Sabrina like instantly tonight or tomorrow, 888-550-8231, or email, and she'll put the email on the thread here. You got to reach out or go to allowuniversity.com and watch the overview if you've never heard of it before. Last minute invites are welcome, and if you don't want to come, that's fine too, but we're not going to go live streaming until it might be about 10 more days, because we got to go through the workshop, and then we got to recalibrate, and then we have to move. So don't think that we're not here if we don't live stream for a few episodes, because we simply won't be able to. So just putting that out there, because some people might want to tune in and they might see nothing happening. It's because we're going to be busy until about, the second week of May. And we'll be back, and I'll be back live streaming at that point based on whatever is going on then. So watch out for that. So thanks, guys, and take care.